Ashwamukhila from Section B.
Myself, Shravani Srija.
Hello guys, this is Chandra Saina from Section A.
I'm Shashank from Section A.
And Devika.
And the question is, a student leaves a 5 liter beaker of 1 foot height containing 3 liters of ethyl ether on the lab bench open to the atmosphere. The lab temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. Assuming ether evaporates through a stagnant layer of air in the beaker and it is carried away once it reaches the top of the beaker. And we have to determine initial mass flow rate of ether from the beaker and the time to evaporate ether from the beaker. And theory will be explained by Chandra Saina.
In the given problem, ether was placed in a 5 liter jar and is open to surroundings in the lab. And the air is given to be stagnant, and hence we can consider the diffusion of air as 0. And this problem can be treated as air diffusing in non-diffusive way. At the surface of the liquid, ether evaporates and the pressure of the ether at that point is taken as PA1 and the pressure is equal to vapor pressure at the given temperature. And as the vapor diffuses through the beaker, it reaches the surface, and from where it will be diffusing through the whole of the lab, and as the concentration the resulting concentration will be very less, and hence we can consider the PA2 as 0. Also in this problem we assume PSSH, that is pseudo steady state hypothesis, that is as the ether evaporates we assume that the equilibrium is attained between vapor and liquid height for convenient use of formula, and we substitute vapor flux in air diffusing in non-diffusive way and integrate it to get time. The data given is temperature is taken as 25 degrees centigrade, which is 298.15 Kelvin. Pressure is taken as 1 atmosphere. Volume of ethyl ether is 3 liters. Height of the beaker is 1 feet, and volume of beaker is 5 liters. The values taken from literature are vapor pressure of ether at 25 degrees, which is 533 mm of Hg, and diffusivity of ether in air is 0.074 centimeter square per second, and molecular weight is 74 kilogram per kg mole. And the formula used are T is equal to Z1 square minus Z2 square into RT into PA into PB minus PB2 minus PB1 by 2 into P into DAB into MA into PA1 minus PA2 into ln PB2 by PB1, and NA is equal to P into DAB into PA1 minus PA2 by RTZ into PB2 minus QB1 by ln PB2 by PB1. Thank you. Over to Srija for explanation of problem.
Volume of the beaker is equals to 5 liter, where the unit conversion equals to 0.01 meter cube 1 liter. So 5 liter equals to 0.05 meter cube. As they mentioned in the question, the height of the beaker is about 1 feet, which is equals to the 0.3048 meter. The height difference, which is about z equals to 0.3048 into 1.0.6, which is equals to 0.1219 meter. At the calculation of the area of the beaker equals to the volume per height. So where the volume is about 0.05 meter cube by the height, which is 0.3048 meter, that the area of the beaker is now about 0.0164 meter square. As in the question they mentioned it is exposed to the atmosphere, so the total pressure is about 1 atmosphere, which is equals to 101.325 kilopascal, and the partial pressure of air, which is equals to the mole fraction into vapor pressure of air, where it is a pure substance, so the mole fraction is equals to 1, so that partial pressure of air is equals to the vapor pressure of air. So at 25 degrees centigrade, the vapor pressure of air is about 533 mm of Hg, and its unit conversion is about 101.325 by 760 kilopascal. We get 71.06 kilopascal. And now the partial pressure of air is equals to the total pressure minus the partial pressure of air, so partial pressure of ether, which is equals to the 30.264 kilopascal. Then the partial pressure at point 2 it is equals to 0, since at the top of the surface all the ether is carried away by the air. So the partial pressure of ether at point 2 is equal to 0, and the partial pressure of air, which is equals to total pressure, which is equals to 101.325 kilopascal. And the substitution, now these values are, now we are calculating the PB logarithm mean, which is equals to PB2 minus PB1 by log PB2 by PB1. The value is about 101.325 minus 30.264 by ln 101.325 by 30.264. The total value is about 58.807 kilopascal. As we are discussing the case where A is diffusing and B is non-diffusing, for diffusing case NA is not equal to 0. For non-diffusing case NB equals to 0. After applying the formula, we get NA equals to P into diffusibility of AB into PA1 minus PA2 by RTZ into ln PB ln mean. And after substituting the values, we get where the pressure equals to 101.325 kilopascal, where diffusibility is equals to 0.07 into 10 power minus 4 meter square per second, and the partial pressure difference is about 71.06 kilopascal by R, which is equals to 8.314, and temperature is about 298 Kelvin, and ln mean value is about 58.807 kilopascal, and the height difference we get 0.1219 meter. After getting the units cancelled, we get our total value is about 0.0. Our answer we get about 0.02999 into 10 power minus 4 kilomole per meter square second. So now we need to calculate the mass flow rate. Before calculating the mass flow rate, we are going to calculate the molar flow rate, which is equals to the convective flux into area of the beaker, where its value we get about 4.918 into 10 power minus 18 kilomole per second. Now we are calculating the mass flow rate, which is by multiplying its molecular weight, which is the value about 4.918 into 10 power minus 8 kilomole per second into molecular weight is about 74.12 kg per kilomole into 3600 seconds by 1 hour. We are converting this whole value into the hours. Now we get the value is about 1.312 into 10 power minus 2 kg per hour. So this is the answer what we want to find out the mass flow rate. And the next slide will continue by the partial.
Moving on to the part B. We know that density upon molecular weight has dimension of kilomole per meter cube. If we multiply it by A into dz by dt, we will get the dimension of kilomole per second. And we also know that the dimensions of convective flux into area are also kilomole per second. So if we equate the two values, that is rho A by mw into dz by dt into Na into area, which is equal to, now substituting the value of Na, rho into A by molecular weight into dz by dt is equal to dAb into P by RT into PA1 minus PA2 upon PB Lm. Separating and integrating, we get integration Z2 to Z1 Z dz is equal to dAb into P by RT into Ma by rho A into PA1 minus PA2 upon PBLM. These all things are constant, so we can take it out of the integration 0 to t dt. We get the formula for t as follows, and the formula for P is Z1 square minus Z2 square into RT into PA upon 2 it is rho A into P into dAb into molecular weight into PA1 minus PA2, and this term is PB2 minus PB1 upon ln PB2 by PB1 PB logarithmic mean. For the problem, Z1 is equal to 0.1219 meter and Z2 is equal to 0.3048 meter, as the ether is completely diffusing. Substituting the values, we get P is equal to, here Z1 and Z2 are substituted, then the R value, temperature value, and diffusivity, pressure, density, molecular weight, the PBLM value and partial pressure difference are substituted. Here the kilopascal gets cancelled, kilogram and kilogram gets cancelled, kg mole and kg mole getting cancelled, Kelvin gets cancelled, meter cube and this meter cube also gets cancelled, meter square and meter square gets cancelled, kilopascal and kilopascal gets cancelled. We are left with only the dimension of second, which is dimension of time, and we get the time as time is equal to 102.8656 seconds. That is, after converting to hours, we get the time about 285.73 hours. So it will take 285.73 hours to evaporate all of the ether from beaker. Over to Babika for conclusion.
Now I'm going to explain the final statement of this problem. So from part A, we got the final value of initial mass flow rate of the ether from the beaker as 1.312 into 10 to the power of minus 2 kg per hour. And from part B, we got the time to evaporate ether from the beaker as 285.73 hours. Now I will explain briefly what we have done in this problem. So for part A, we have find the convective flux of A by using the formula of A diffusing and B non-diffusing. After getting the value of NA, we have found the molar flow rate, and then after getting the molar flow rate value, we have converted to mass flow rate by using the converging factor, and we got the value as 1.31 into 10 to the power of minus 2 kg per hour. So for part B, by integrating the equation, we got the formula for getting the time taken as here it is shown in this slide. So after substituting all the given data in this formula, we got the final value as 285.73 hours.
So they have obtained an initial mass flow rate of the ether from the beaker as 1.312 into 10 power minus 2 kg per hour. Please cross verify the answer. I appreciate the efforts of Parshav, Shravani Srija, Chandra Sainath, Shashank and Babika. Keep it up. Next we have Harsh Kumar and his team here to present a numerical on equimolar counter diffusion taking place in a twin bulb connected by a tube. So his team consists of S. Harsh Kumar, K. Krishna Sai, Suraj, Rishabh and Manish.
Today we are going to solve a numerical on equimolar counter diffusion in twin bulbs.
We have two tanks. These are connected by a tube 5 mm in diameter and 0.5 meter long. One tank contains nitrogen and another tank contains CO2. The pressure and temperature are maintained at 200 kilopascal and 25 degrees Celsius. The diffusivity is 0.08 centimeter square per second. At some initial time t equal to 0, diffusion occurs between the two tanks. How long will it take for the mole fraction of N2 to reach 0.7 on the one end and 0.25 at the other end? So in A, we have to determine the time. We have to determine this time, the rates and direction of mass transfer of CO2 and N2. And in the B option, we have to determine the velocities of each species and the molar average velocity of the mixture. So now we will write the given data. So we are given diffusivity as 0.08 centimeter square per second. So we will change it into SI unit. So it comes 8 into 10 to power minus 6 meter square per second. So we are assuming that A is the nitrogen gas and B is CO2 gas. And total pressure is given 200 kilopascal and temperature is given 25 degrees Celsius. So we will change it into Kelvin. That comes as 298 Kelvin. And the diameter of the tube is given 5 mm. So in meter it will be 5 into 10 to power minus 3 meter. And the length of the tube is given 0.5 meter. So at particular time that we have to calculate, at that time the mole fraction of N2 at the one end is 0.7. So that is Ya1, that is 0.7, and Ya2 means at the other end it is 0.25, the mole fraction of N2.
So this is the given data in the question. In this question, what is happening is, at time t equal to 0, there is a wall present in between the two bulbs. So when we open the wall, the molecules of N2 try to diffuse towards bulb 2, and the molecules of carbon dioxide tries to diffuse towards bulb 1. So as time proceeds, the number of moles present in bulb 1 of N2 decreases as they are moving towards bulb 2, and the mole fraction of carbon dioxide in bulb 2 reduces. So what we are going to do in this question is, first we'll calculate the molar flux of nitrogen and carbon dioxide at some time t equal to t, when the mole fraction of N2 is 0.7 in bulb 1 and 0.25 in bulb 2. Then we will find the mass rates of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Then we will find the velocities of nitrogen and carbon dioxide as a function of mole fractions, because the velocity depends on the mole fraction present. So as the moles are continuously diffusing at a particular space in the bulb, the mole fraction varies with time. So we will find velocities as function of mole fractions, and at the end we will take a basis of 1 kilomole and try to find the time required to attain this state. I would ask Manish to continue.
Okay, so now we will write the basic definition of the flux. So Na equal to Xa into Na plus Nb plus Ja. As we have given in the question that there is here is equimolar counter diffusion, so Na will equal to minus Nb. So Na plus Nb will equal to 0. So Na will equal to Ja, means Na will equal to diffusive flux. So now what we will get? Na is equal to dAb by Z, dAb into P, Ya1 minus Ya2 by RT, by ZRT. So we have given that Ya1 is equal to 0.7 and 0.5, and as well as other data we have given. So now we will put all the data. So Na will equal to 0.08 into 10 to power minus 4 meter square per second into by 0.5 meter into 200 kilopascal by 8.314 kilopascal meter cube by kilomole Kelvin into 298 Kelvin. No, this is sorry, this is in the 298 Kelvin. 0.7 minus 0.25. So we will get Na is equal to 5.812 into 10 to power minus 7 kilomole per meter square second. So I have done. So now I request to another person to further proceed.
Now we have to calculate the rate and direction of mass transfer of CO2 and N2 as mentioned by Manish. in the first part of the question, we know that the formula for calculation of rate of mass transfer is molar flux into area into its molar mass. Okay, as we have already calculated the molar flux of N2, it is 5.812 into 10 raised to power minus 7 kilomole per meter square second. Molar mass of N2 is 28 kg per kilomole, and area we have already calculated above, that is 1.9635 into 10 raised to power minus 5 meter square. Okay, so we will get a rate of mass transfer of N2 is equals to 3.195 into 10 raised to power minus 10 kg per second of N2. Now in the second part, we will calculate the rate of mass transfer of CO2. Again, we will use the same formula, as it is equimolar counter diffusion. So we have to change the sign of the molar flux we have calculated, because okay, we will define this in later. So let us put all the values first, and area is same, that is 1.9635 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 meter square. 9635 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 meter square, and the molar mass of CO2 is 44 kg per kilomole. Okay, on solving this, we will get minus 5.02 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 kg per second of CO2. Okay, let me tell you the significance of negative sign here, that it is equimolar counter diffusion. So we know that N2 is the direction of diffusion of N2 is in opposite in direction to the diffusion of CO2. That's why we are using negative sign here. Now I would like to call Rishabh Dhurve for velocity calculation.
Thank you, Suraj. Hello, I'm Rishabh Dhurve. Now we are finding the velocity of the species. So we all know the basic definition of molar flux. Molar flux equals to concentration of individual gas into velocity of individual species, where Na is equals to Ca into Ua. Ca is the concentration of gas A, and Ua is the velocity of species A. For all the gases, we know C is equals to P divided by RT. From here, we get Na is equals to Pa into Ua by RT, where Pa is the partial pressure of species gas A at given time and position, and Ua is the velocity of the species A with respect to stationary surface frame. Let us assume Y is a mole fraction of A at some point in the tube at time t. Now, from above equation, Na is equals to Ua into P into Ua by RT. From this equation, Ua is equals to Na into RT by YA into P. Similarly, we get UB is equals to NB into RT divided by YB into P. By substituting all the value, we get UA and UB value. Now we are finding molar average velocity, which is equals to U is equals to YA into UA plus YB into UB.
Now here we leave the velocities as a function of YA and YB because we do not know that at what position we are calculating the velocity, because mole fraction YA and YB are function of time and position in the tube.
Now we get the value in terms of NA and NB. Now I like to further proceed to my colleague Krishna Sai to proceed further.
Krishna Sai, unmute yourself.
Hello guys, just to emphasize the result here, as you all can see, you get, as I mean, for the molar average velocity, you get Na plus Nb into RT by P, which is nothing but equals to 0 because of the molar counter diffusion which we took at the beginning. So you get molar average velocity to be 0. Now next, moving on to my topic, you have to find out time required, right, as the question specified. Time t where YA1 equals 0.7 and YA2 equals 0.25. So okay, now let us assume a basis to solve this question. Now assume the basis to be 1 kilomole N2 at time t equals 0 in bulb 1, right? Now at time t you told YA1 equals 0.7, which implies we have 0.7 kilomole of N2 in bulb 1. Put this result aside, we'll use it later. Now at time t, you know what is Na, the convective flux of nitrogen. It is nothing but 5.812 into 10 to the power minus 7 kilomole per meter square second. Now what I want to calculate is rate of molar rate transfer of N2 in the above case. And let me name it W, is nothing but Na into area. Now after substituting, you will get the value of it to be 1.14 into 10 to the power minus 11 kilomole second by second. You can easily calculate time from here. Is nothing but the amount of moles you have to transfer. Amount of moles of N2 you have to transfer from bulb 1 to bulb 2 at time t. I mean, in between time t. 0.3 kilomoles, and you know the rate of molar rate transfer. It will be amount of moles of N2 to be transferred from bulb 1 to bulb 2 by molar rate transfer. and you will approximately get it to be 2.632 into 10 to the power 10 seconds. Now, you might ask why we use 0.3 kilomole. We already calculated the result at time t. We have 0.7 kilomole in bulb 1. So, originally there was 1 kilomole at time t equals 0. So, in fact, there is 0.3 mole of N2 missing, which in fact is transferred from bulb 1 to bulb 2. So you get the time like this, and this is the result.
We have seen numerical on equimolar counter diffusion, well presented by S. Harshkumar, Krishna Sai, Suraj, Rishabh and Manish. I appreciate their sincere efforts. Next, we have Shivatmika and her team to present a numerical on diffusion in liquids, where A is diffusive and B is non-diffusive. Her team consists of G. Shivatmika, Faisal Deshpande, Y. Sai Teja, Aish Chaudhary and P. Navneet.
Okay, this is the question we all solved. So here I am going to say about something question. Hydrochloric acid A283 Kelvin diffuses through thin film of water B 4 mm thick. Here where A is hydrochloric and B is water. The concentration of A at location 1 on one boundary of the film is 12 weight%. Where the where density of the plane 1 is 1060.7 kg per meter cube, and on the boundary at location 2 is 4 weight%. Density at the plane 2 is 1020.15 kg per meter cube. The diffusivity of the HCl in water is given 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 9 meters square per second. So here we ask calculate the flux of diffusion of A, assuming water is too stagnant. Stagnant means non-diffusing. So
hello, and now I am going to explain the theory behind this numerical. First, starting from diffusion in liquids. First, we'll start from the relationship between the N flux and J flux. Next, we know that Na is equals to Xa into Na plus Nb plus J. From Fick's law, J is equals to minus DAB into DCA by DC. Take this as equation number 1 and this as equation number 2. And in liquids, we will take the concentration in terms of density. C is equals to rho by M. Now we have, let us consider that in a binary system at this point 1 and this point at point 2. We will write the what are present at that point 1 and point 2. At point 1, at point 2, at point 1 the concentration of a compound is Xa1 and at point 2 is Xa2. And at point 1, concentration of B compound is XB1. And at point 2, XB2. If it is a constant density system, we will have a rho and rho. As most of the cases, we will have two densities at 2 points, 2 different points. That is rho 1 and rho 2. If it is a constant density system, it will be equal. Now it is not equal. And now molecular weight, that is M average mass, is M average 1 at 0.1, and that point is M average 2. Take this as M2 and M1. We know that M average is equals to sigma of xi my. Now from this formula we can write that M1 is equals to xa1 NA is equals to DAB into rho by M average by Z to XA1 minus XA2 by XB2 minus XB1 by ln of XB2 by XB1. We write this XB2 minus XB1 to ln of XB1 this as XB logarithmic mean. Now we get the final equation. NA is equals to DAB by Z rho by M average into XA1 minus XA2 by XB logarithmic mean, where we define the variables. Z is equals to Z2 minus Z1 rho by M average is equals to rho by M at 0.1 plus rho by M 0.2 by 2, and where XB logarithmic mean is equals to XB2 minus XB1 by ln of XB2 by XB1.
So here the given data is hydrochloric acid A at 283 Kelvin, which is diffusing through water B, and the thickness of film is Z is equal to 4 millimeter, and concentration of A at location 1 is given 12% by weight. Density at location 1 is given 1060.7 kg per meter cube. Similarly, concentration of A at location 2 is 4% by weight, and density at location 2 is 1020.15 kg per meter cube. Diffusivity of A through B is 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 9 meter square per second. In this question, we have to find flux of diffusion of A, assuming water to be stagnant, that is non-diffusing, means NB or diffusion flux of water is 0. And the formulas which we have used in this question is XA1, that is mole fraction of A at location 1 is XA1 dash by MA whole divided by XA1 dash by MA plus XB1 by MB. MA and MB are molecular masses of A and B respectively. Similarly, XA2 is mole fraction of A at location 2 is XA2 dash by MA whole divided by XA2 dash by MA plus XB2 dash by MB. And the third formula is rho by M average. Here rho is density and M is mass. Rho by M average is equal to rho by M at location 1 plus rho by M at location 2 whole divided by 2. The fourth formula is M1, that is average molecular mass at location 1 is equal to XA1 multiplied by MA plus XB1 multiplied by MB. Here MA and MB are molecular masses of A and B respectively, and XA1 and XB1 are mole fractions of A and B at location 1 respectively. Similarly, fifth formula is M2, that is average molecular mass at location 2 is XA2 multiplied by MA plus XB2 multiplied by MB. MA and MB are again molecular masses of A and B respectively, and XA2 and XB2 are mole fractions of A and B at location 2 respectively. Now the sixth formula which we have used is XBLM, that is logarithmic mean of mole fraction of B is XB2 minus XB1 by ln XB2 by XB1. The XB2 is mole fraction of B at location 2 and XB1 is mole fraction of B at location 1. This ln is natural log of XB2 by XB1. And the seventh final expression or final formula of Na, that is diffusion flux, is DAB, that is diffusivity of A through B, which is given in question, multiplied by rho by M average, which we have calculated from previous formula, multiplied by XA1 minus XA2, that is XA1 is mole fraction of A at location 1 and mole fraction of A at location 2 is XA2, whole divided by Z, that is film thickness, which is given in question as 4 millimeter, multiplied by XBLM, that is logarithmic mean of mole fraction of B, which we have to calculate from formula 6, that is XBLM is XB2 minus XB1 by ln XB2 by XB1. Now our friend will show the substitution part, that is Navneet.
So hello, I am Navneet, and we are going to continue with the mass transfer assignment. We are going to do the substitution part. First, let's consider HCl as compound A and water, that is H2O, as compound B. The formula that we are going to use is NAB is equal to DAB by Z rho by M average into XA1 minus XA2 by XBLM, where DAB is the diffusivity and Z is the thickness. Rho by M average is the property of the molecules in the given mixture. And one thing we have to note is these values XA1, XA2 and XBLM are mole fractions. So to start with, let us find out the molecular mass of HCl, which is the compound A. The species in HCl are H and Cl. Atomic masses are 1 and 35.5 kg per kg mole. So total molecular mass we'll get as 35.5 plus 1, that is 36.5 kg per kg mole. And now we'll find out the molecular mass of H2O, that is compound B. In H2O, species are H and O. Atomic mass of H and O are 1 and 16 kg per kg mole respectively. Number of hydrogen molecules are 2 and number of oxygens are 1. So we'll get molecular weight of water as 16 plus 2, which is 18 kg per kg mole. Now we have to, as I said already, we need to convert the given weight fractions into mole fractions, because in question we are given with weight fractions, but in formula we'll use mole fractions. So at location 1, the weight fraction of A is 12. So weight percentage is 12, so weight fraction will be 0.12. Respectively, for water, weight percentage is 88 and weight fraction will be 0.88. And similarly at location 2, weight fractions are 0.04 and 0.96. These values we are given in the question. Now we have to convert this weight fraction into mole fraction. To do that, we use this formula as we have already seen in the formula section. So let us calculate the mole fractions of compound A at location 1 first. So this is XA1 is the mole fraction of A at location 1. XA1 dash and XB1 dash are weight fractions of A1, A and B at location 1, and MA and MB are the molecular weights which we just calculated. This is for water 18 and 36.5 for HCl. So let us substitute the values. We'll get XA1 is equal to XA1 dash by MA, which is 0.12, which is XA1 dash by MA is 36.5 whole divided by XA1 dash by MA, which is 0.12 by 36.5 by 36.5 plus XB dash, which is 0.88 by 18, which is the molecular weight of water or the compound B. So let's use the calculator to find out this value, and after using the calculator we get this value as 0.063. So the mole fraction of compound A at location 1 is 0.063. 0.063. And now similarly let us do for compound A at location 2 also. For location 2, what we get? Okay, so now for location 2, we will get as XA2 dash and XB2 dash are weight fractions at location 2, and MA and MB are the molecular weights as we already calculated. So after substituting, XA2 dash is 0.04 and MA is rate of HCl, that is 36.5, and XA2 dash is again 0.04 by 36.5 by 36.5 plus, and XB2 dash we will get as 0.96 by 18. So this value, after again using the calculator, we get as 0.02. This is the mole fraction of A at location B, which is 0.02. So we got this as 0.02. Now let us fill the table, this table. So here we got this as 0.063 and x2, this we got as 0.02. Now we already know that at any point the mole fractions of all existing species is equal to 1. So xb1 is equal to 1 minus xa1. So we can we already got 0.063 as xa1. So after substituting here, we get xb1 as 1 minus 0.063, which is 0.933. 0.937. Similarly, for location 2, xb2 we get as 1 minus xa2, which is 1 minus 0.02, which is 0.98. Okay. So this till now we have converted weight fractions into mole fractions. We can write here also 0.937 and 0.98. 0.98. Now we have converted weight fractions to mole fractions. Okay, so now we have to find the average molecular weights of the mixture of A and B at both locations. That we, as already we have seen in the formula section, we'll get by XA1 MA, which XA1 is the mole fraction of A at location 1, and XB1 MB, which XB1 is mole fraction of B at location 1. Here XA1 and XB1 are again mole fractions, not weight fractions. Now let us substitute the values and find the value. So for location 1, the average molecular mass will be XA1, which we got as 0.063063 into MA. MA we already know is 36.5. And XB1 is we calculated as 0.937. This is 0.937 into MB. MB is the molecular weight of water, which is 18. After so this we will get the answer as M1. M1 we will get as after using the calculator we get 19.1655. 1655, and we should check we should always write the units, which is kg per kg mole, as this molecular weight. So this we got as 19.1655. 1655. And similarly for location 2 we will get as xb2 into mb plus xa2 into ma, or reverse, anything, anyhow we can write, which is 0.98 into 18, which is the mole fraction of water into molecular weight of water, and plus mole fraction of A into molecular weight of A is 0.02 into compound A. What is compound A? HCl. That is 36.5. 36.5. We can use the calculator to get the answer. Let us use the calculator. We get as 0.98 into 18, which is 17.4 plus 0.02 into 36.5. We get as 18.37. What we get is 18.37 kg per kg mole. Kg per kg mole is the unit which is very important. 18.37 kg per kg mole. So let us fill the values there. This we have got as 19.1655 19.1655, and for B it is 18.37. 18.37. Okay, so why we have calculated average molecular weights at location 1 and location 2 is to know the average of density by molecular weight at both the places. Average will get as rho by m average at 1 plus rho by m average at 2 by 2, which is the average or mean. So for this, m average at 1 is this. This is the average molecular weight at location 1, and this is the average molecular weight at location 2. We will substitute this in this formula to get the average of rho by m, which we'll use in our final formula. So we can find this. So what is rho? In the question we are given with the values of rho at location 1 and location 2. We can go to the slide. Here there is density at 1 and density at 2. We'll use these values to find our required value. So we can take a pen and find these values. For density at location 1, we have just now seen as 1060 by what is m average at 1, we have seen just now, is 19.1655. Okay, we have to take the pen again. 19.1655. Okay. Now similarly at location B, we have to find the density. What we have seen is 1020.15. Okay, this is 1060.7. 1060.7 and 1020.15. 1020. Okay, 0.15 divided by average molecular weight at location 2, which is 18.37. Which is 18.37. Okay, and this value we can divide by 2. We can again put it in the calculator to find the find this value, rho by m average, which we will get as 55.43884388. We can use calculators for this. So here we can write it as 55.4388, and the units for this is kg mole per meter cube, because the units of rho, which is the density, is kg per meter cube, and for molecular mass it is kg per kg mole. So kilogram gets cancelled, kg mole per meter cube remains. So we can write this in here. It is 55.4388. It is 55.4388 kg mole per meter cube. Okay, now we have to find XBLM. What XBLM is it is the log mean of XB. XB here is the mole fraction of water or H2O. So the formula we have seen already in the section of formulas, that is XB2 minus XB1 by ln of XB2 by XB1. This is natural ln to the base E. So we can substitute the values of xb1 and xb2 to find the value. Okay, now let us substitute the value of xb1 and xb2. What the value of xb2 is at location 2, which we got as 0.98, and at location 1 we got as 0.937. And the ln of xb2 by xb1 we get as ln of 0.98 by 0.937. 0.937. Okay, now let us once check again what are the values of xb1 and xb2. xb1 is 0.937 and 0.98, 0.937 and 0.98, correct. So we can use a calculator to find the value, which we will get as 0.9583, 958 and 3, 0.9583. Okay, we can remember the fact that these are mole fractions and this is a log term. Both mole fractions and log term have no units, so this has no units. We can go here, which is 0.9583. The value of xBLM is 0.958. Okay, now the main important step is unit tallying, because finally we should unit should be tallied, or else our problem will be wrong. So NA we know as DAB by Z into rho by M average into XA1 minus XA2 by log mean of XB. So DAB has units meter square per second, and Z is the thickness. That thickness we find in meters, and rho by M average we have kg mole per meter cube. The unit tally for this we have seen here. Here we get as kg mole per meter cube. So finally meter square and meter cube gets cancelled. We have kg mole per meter square into second. So kg mole per meter square into second, which is the units for convective flux. So now we are good to go with the final substitution, because our units have tallied and we have found all the values to be substituted. Okay, now NAB is equal to DAB by Z. What is the value of DAB? We have seen in the section, in the given data section. DAB is the diffusivity of A in stagnant B, which is given as 2.5 into 10 power minus 9. So we got NAB as DAB, which is 2.5 into 10 power minus 9 into 10 power minus 9. And we know the value of Z is given as 4 mm. 4 mm when we convert into SI units, which is meters, we get 4 mm by 1000 mm into 1 meter, because we know as 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeter. So this millimeter gets cancelled, so we get as 4 into 10 power minus 3, which is the value of 4 mm in 4 into 10 power minus 3 meters. So this is 2.5 into 10 power minus 9. These units we have already tallied the units. This will have meter square per second. We have converted this into SI units, which is 4 into 10 power minus 3, which is 0.004, that we can substitute in the calculator. Okay, now the value of rho by m average. Rho by m average we have just calculated. How much we got? Rho by m average we got as 55.4388 into 55.4388. Okay, into XA1 minus XA2. We get XA1 minus XA2 also we have to find. XA1 minus XA2. What will be the value of XA1 minus XA2? We were at XA1 minus XA2, which we get as 0.063. 0.063 minus 0.02 minus 0.02, which we will get as, let us calculate. Okay, what is it? 0.063 minus 0.02 will be 0.043. It is 0.043. So this XA1 minus XA2 is 0.043, 0.043, and XBLM we have just now found is 0.9583. It is 0.9. Okay. 0.9583. Yeah. So we can use a calculator to find out the final value of Na, and that we will get as 1.5547 into 10 power minus 6. So after substituting the values in the calculator, we get Na is equal to 1.5547 into 10 power minus 6. So this we will get as 1.5547. We can write it as 1.47, or we can round off it to 1.555, 3 decimals, which is standard in our MT course, into 10 power minus 6 kg mole per meter square second. So the final statement we get is the flux of diffusion of HCl, assuming water to be stagnant, is 1.5547 into 10 power minus 6 kg mole per meter square second. That is the final value. Okay, thank you.
So we have seen a numerical on diffusion in liquids where A is diffusive and B is non-diffusive, well explained by Shivatmika, Deshpande, Sai Teja, Ayush Chaudhary and Navneet. Very well done. Keep it up. Thank you so much for joining my classroom. Meet you in another lecture. Bye bye.